Hello everybody, this is BisuDagger returning for another cast for the SSL Star League Round of 16 Day 2. This is the SSL11, already 11 of these have gone by. So the first game was Mine versus Effort, the second game was Last versus Olympus, and now we are to Group C of PvP between Free and Guemchi. Yes, this is going to be on New Heartbreak Ridge. Coming from Group C was the first game, Mong versus Hyuk, on Wednesday, July 1st. And that was a TVZ where Hyuk fell down 1-0 to Mong. And now we have the next group, the next match, Free versus Guemchi. Who will take this map? This is a map where we've seen tons of proxies. Is this what we're going to see again? And who's going to be the one to do it? Who may catch it or who may get tricked? Who will get duped? That's the question. Free versus Guemchi. The countdown has finished and we're going to go into this 2 spawn position map. And it looks like we're going to have a Free spawning at this left-hand corner. Yes, this is definitely confirmed Free, which leaves our red Protoss player on the right side. That is going to be Guemchi. Free definitely the second best Protoss player in this tournament remaining. I would say he's second to Bisu just because Bisu's a little bit more well-rounded in his matchups. Free does have that significant weakness against Zerg. But as far as the PvP data pool goes, Free just kind of sits there around the 50% mark. And honestly, he hasn't played a lot of PvPs. But I just think his micro is that much better than Guemchi's. And Guemchi hasn't really shown us between this tournament and the Kong2 Star League really that great play. Actually, he almost took a game off Bisu in the Kongdu Stars League in their group stages, but unfortunately he made one small mistake and unfortunately lost. And oh, look at this. We're actually seeing someone stream the first-person view of Guemchi on their phone, so that's pretty cool. Trying to get all of that information, seeing what the decision-making is as Guemchi in real time. So both these players, I bet you they're going to start off pretty normal here. Seeing that pylon is obviously standard. You have to open up with the pylon, get your supply up there, get in the probes. But where is this going to go? Is it going to be sort of a 3-gate robotics facility style game where you can go in with those nice Reaver drops, use your Dragoons in tandem, or do you want to try and go for a natural base a little bit earlier and play very defensive? I think both these players should come off aggressive right away. Honestly, knowing where your opponent is means that you can try and go for that that easy build, the proxy build maybe, something aggressive, and catch your opponent off guard. But both players, they are going to be going for that gas right away. And what's the gas going to lead to? Is that going to be lead to that robotics facility tech? And is it going to be DT drops or Reaver drops? So sometimes when you do get that early gas, especially like you saw in Group B, Olympus versus Last, Olympus did go for the early gas before Gateway so he could get the DTs out really fast. I don't think that's going to be the same here. PvP's done a little bit differently here. And as far as the range upgrade goes for Dragoons, that's actually only an upgrade that's completely necessary in the Terran matchup. Even versus Zerg, where you see you're going to have a Zealot heavy army, you don't have to go for the Dragoons and get the range upgrade. In PvP, you actually don't need to invest that gas right away into the range upgrade, although it is really nice to have against your opponent, especially if they did not go for the Dragoon upgrade themselves, and you get into the Dragoon versus Dragoon battle. So what are we seeing here? Guemchi is bringing out a probe to the top of the map here, and I'm wondering if he's going to try and go for some sort of shuttle play from here. So what you do in this type of map is you can put a robotics facility at the top and you can slow shuttle Reavers into your opponent's base and really catch them off guard. It's something I've seen done a few times here, but it really requires not being scouted. And it looks like this may happen here. Meanwhile, there is a scout for both players they can see inside the base. And you know what? Free, he may have noticed that the pylon was late. The next pylon that's required inside the main base, he didn't find it anywhere. And so he might be a little bit curious about the fact that there is not that pylon inside of Guemchi's base. The robotics facility does come down though. And okay, what's going on here? Is Free really going to figure this out? Free setting a probe up to the top left. Are you guys seeing this? No way. Okay, so the probe it's going to the left here, but sometimes players stop short. Is he going to actually go over to this left here and notice that it's there? Oh, Free's already responding. He dropped down a couple gateways, knowing that he's going to want to be aggressive. And the robotics facility, it's been fully committed now. It's about to finish up. And if Guemchi doesn't cancel it, did he even see that he got scouted? No way. If Guemchi didn't notice it and he lets that robotics facility finish, he is doomed. He is going to lose this game. I don't see how else he can win here. Maybe he's going to try and drop down a gateway and stay defensive. He could just try and forge up that robotics facility. That would be pretty interesting, but no way. We're not going to see cannons forge up the pylon. And oh my god, so Guemchi's putting the robotics support bay up there at the top left location too. This is golden. Free, he knows exactly what's going to happen here. He's holding off on his units, but eventually he's just going to run over there and kill off everything in the top left location. That's all he has to do. Meanwhile, Guemchi keeping his units on the map. He's trying to gain as much vision as possible. And he is very focused on trying to get this proxy Reaver rush up at the top left executed. But Free, man. He's sending those units up to the top left. This is going to be just the dagger in Guemchi's heart here. He's got way too many units, and if he doesn't cancel the Reaver, he might lose this Reaver right away. Using the Dragoons, he's actually bringing them over to the left. He is focusing on that shuttle. The shuttle's so slow, it does take it out with the Dragoons. And now he is focusing on that pylon. He may not even have the opportunity to get a Reaver out. Focusing it down with 2 Zealots. He is doing constant damage on that pylon. Is Guemchi going to be able to get his army over there fast enough to take him out? Or should he just go for a straight up counterattack? The Reaver does jump out. Free sees it. Free attacks that Reaver. 3 Dragoons, 2 Zealots, closed him in behind the mineral line. Even though Scarab does get finished and goes off, he was unable to keep that Reaver alive. Not enough damage done, and it looks like that top left will be disabled. Meanwhile, Guemchi, he knows that he does have an army advantage. Possibly he's going to be able to go in here, get some damage done. He's going to apply pressure at that choke between the natural and the main base of Free. Wow. So Free's got all his units up at the top middle of the map here. And is he going to go for a counterattack? Guemchi might actually be relatively weak against the amount of units that Free has out on the open of the map. And he realizes that he's going to have to pull everything back and come in for a massive defense. And he doesn't have the technology. He's going to have to rebuild his robotics facility if he wants Reavers and the robotics support bay. Actually, scratch that. The robotics support bay hasn't been taken out. It will be credited with the tech available. So all he has to do is build a robotics facility and he can get his Reavers out. He just can't get the upgrades from the robotics facility or support bay if he wanted to get something like, let's say, shuttle speed. He would have to rebuild a pylon over at the top left. So this is a heavy Dragoon army. There are Reavers finished though, so that will help out Free a ton here. And actually he's gotten inside of the main base here and only just doing a little bit of damage. I think that Guemchi will be able to clean this up. Yes, he does have it in the clear. And look at this, Free being very smart. He's sending over a observer so that way he could scout the top left just in case there happened to be another pylon built up there. But now he's known and aware. He's got an eye on that top left and nothing is going to happen. He's got a complete wall at the entrance here. And is he going to make this engagement? I actually think that Guemchi has a little bit of a better engagement here. Focusing down these Zealots really quickly here. And the micro's not really good for Free. Guemchi is getting ready to push him back. Actually looks like he might have the Dragoon lead now. And is going to be forcing Free out of his natural base. But the reinforcements look to be too strong here. Especially if the Reavers do finally get over there. The shuttle, hopefully it has speed at this point. Otherwise it'll take way too long to get to this natural base. Is Guemchi going to climb his way back in here? This is just absolutely stunning play. Is Free going to be able to overrun this natural? It's a really hard position here. Just a wide enough choke point for Guemchi to have a little bit of a defensive advantage. But if he loses the natural, then Free could take on the high ground with his Dragoons and just keep Guemchi completely contained here. So Reaver is done. And the Reaver play is really significant here. If the Reaver can get really good trades and nice shots on these Dragoons, and Free is not careful, somehow you see that Guemchi could come back into this game. Free doesn't have a natural. If he does lose his army in a really bad engagement here, then Guemchi could be on even footing. So the push here in the Scarab is going to go off. That looks like it hit maybe 4 Dragoons and eliminated, just basically disintegrated the shield on those Dragoons. But here comes the Reaver with the shuttle in the background. And it does take a triple kill on that Reaver. A triple kill. Meanwhile, it does get microed back here. Oh, it's going to get taken out. So the Reaver is down. 2 Dragoons, no 4, trying to hold that choke point here, but this is exactly what I said. He could put a few Dragoons up on the top high ground here and basically try and focus on anything that tries to come near the choke, and he does lose the Reaver. Oh no, Guemchi losing the Reaver one more time. This looks like he's not going to be able to tackle his way out of this. Getting so close to taking out that shuttle, though. That would have been huge. He would have eliminated the shuttle and the Reaver threat at the same time. Still trying to micro as hard as he can. But one more Reaver shot. A triple kill in the other direction now. Freeze Reaver doing a great job here. And GG. Guemchi will be forced to tap out. What an amazing game here for Free. Just goes to scouting. Amazing game sense. Star sense. Knowing that that pylon was missing from that base. And thinking, oh man, I better check this top left corner. This is my weakest, most vulnerable point on Heartbreak Ridge. So unfortunately for Guemchi, he will join Hyuk at the bottom of this group. And Mong versus Free will be at the top of Group C. Look at this, guys. Next Wednesday, July 8th, Mong versus Free will happen. One of the best TVPs that could happen. This will be quite an exciting match. Probably the best one out of this group. So that bodes well for you, Brood War fans. Thank you for listening. I am BisuDagger and very happy to bring you round 16, day 2 of this SSL cast. And I hope that you can hang out and watch Group D with me, which is going to be a pretty good match too. Going to be between Hero and Haya. So hang out for Group D. If you are not available to watch me live, then hit up my VODs, as they will be available for you.